Certain it is that some 15 or 20 years after the settlement of the town, the wooden jail was already marked with weather stains and other indications of age, which gave a yet darker aspect to its beetle-browned and gloomy front. The rust on the ponderous ironwork of its oaken door looked more antique than anything else in the New World. Like all that pertains to crime, it seemed never to have known a youthful era. Before this ugly edifice, and between it and the wheel track of the street, was a grass plot, much overgrown with burdock, pigweed, apple peru, and such unsightly vegetation, which evidently found something congenial in the soil that had so early borne the black flower of civilized society. A prison, but on one side of the portal and rooted almost at the threshold was a wild rose bush, covered in this month of June with its delicate gems which might be imagined to offer their fragrance and fragile beauty to the prisoner as he went in and to the condemned criminal as he came forth to his doom, in token that the deep heart of nature could pity and be kind to him. As with a sudden smile of heaven, forth burst the sunshine, pouring a very flood into the obscure forest.
People of New England, ye that have loved me, ye that have deemed me holy, behold me here, the one sinner of the world. At last, I stand upon the spot where 7 years since I should have stood, here with this woman whose arm, more than the little strength wherewith I have crept hitherward, sustains me. At this dreadful moment, from groveling down upon my face, lo, the scarlet letter which Hester wears. Ye have all shuddered at it, wherever her walk hath been, wherever so miserably burdened she may have hoped to find response. It hath cast a lurid gleam of awe and horrible repugnance round her. But there stood one in the midst of you, at whose brand of sin and infamy ye have not shuddered. It was on him. God's eye beheld it. The angels were forever pointing at it. The devil knew it well, and fretted it continually with a touch of his burning finger. But he hid it cunningly from men, and walked among you with the mien of a spirit, mournful because so pure in a sinful world, and sad because he missed his heavenly kindred. Now, at the death hour, he stands up before you. He bids you look again at Hester's scarlet letter. He tells you that with all its mysterious horror, it is but the shadow of what he bears on his own breast, and that even this, his own red stigma, is no more than the type of what has seared his innermost heart. Stand any here that question God's judgment on a sinner? Behold a dreadful witness of it. The law was broke, the sin here so awfully revealed. Let these alone be in thy thoughts. I fear it may be that when we forgot our God, when we violated our reverence each for the other's soul, it was thenceforth vain to hope that we could meet hereafter. In an everlasting and pure reunion, God knows, and he is merciful. He hath proved his mercy, most of all in my afflictions, by giving me this burden torture to bear upon my breast, by sending yonder dark and terrible old man to keep the torture always at red heat, by bringing me hither to die this death of triumphant ignominy before the people. Had either of these ignominies been waiting, I had been lost forward. Praise be his name. He will be done. Farewell. The people of New England, I stand upon the spot where Hester stood 7 years ago. Oh.
Hester Prynne, she did the sin. Adultery, yo. That's important, bro. Dimsdale's the dad, but Pearl doesn't know until he dies. Uh-oh. Chillingsworth out to find the truth. While Pearl is still in her youth, Dimsdale's got a mark on his chest. That's why he keeps grabbing his breast. The lesson we learn when the pages are turned: don't cheat on your husband or bad things will happen. Book closed, returned, redone.